G'day! Welcome to the Nerdy Dad channel and my rewind review of the Bad Batch Season 1 episode, Battle Scars. Not that any of the previous episodes are bad or filler, but we're getting into the thick of it now with two really key episodes that I absolutely love set on Bracca. A couple of quick things before we get any further. If you like what I'm doing, please give me a like, subscribe, and feel free to say hi in the comments. And even though the Bad Batch Season 1 is a year old, I'm going to quickly flash up a spoiler warning to make sure that everyone knows where we're going. Back to it. Battle Scars was the 7th episode of Season 1, and it was directed by Saul Ruiz and Brad Rau. Now, we don't know exactly how much time has passed since the last episode, but the Batch have somewhat settled into the routine of mercenary work for Sid. Settled enough that Wrecker and Omega have developed somewhat of a post-mission tradition. The bond between Wrecker and Omega is so important later in the episode. The Batch are still broke, and the missions they've been doing are smaller in nature, which is why they weren't covered in episodes. And they need a big score to make up for the tactical droid data that they failed to return in the 6th episode. A newcomer to the cantina refuses to get pushed around by a couple of Sid's regulars, and he ends up firing his blaster. This, of course, brings Sid and the members of the Batch who are at the cantina running. When Sid asks him, "Who are you?" he pushes back his hood to reveal that it's Rex. They didn't leave us hanging long in revealing who the hooded figure was last week. He recounts his story to the Batch up at the bar over drinks. But things get a little more complicated when Wrecker shows up and has another one of his headaches. Rex's hand hovers over his blaster, and he gets even more agitated when Tech reveals that the Batch haven't removed their inhibitor chips. Given what Rex went through with Ahsoka at the end of Season 7, it's no wonder he's more than a little bit testy about the chips. Although he does relax a little when Hunter asks him how that he suggests the Batch remove their chips. Rex leaves and says he'll get back to them. On board the Marauder, en route to Bracca, Wrecker expresses his concern at the operation. But to be fair, Rex, who is a soldier, not a doctor, wants to cut their heads open to remove something that's been there since birth. In Wrecker's shoes, I'd be a little worried myself. Hunter trusts Rex, though, and tells Wrecker as much. Bracca is the junkyard planet that is the opening setting of Jedi Fallen Order, which is one of my favourite games. It's a starship graveyard, and what Rex and the Batch are looking for is a Jedi cruiser, the same type that Rex was aboard when Ahsoka removed his chip. To avoid the notice of the Empire, they have to stay out of sight of the Scrapper Guild, the same guild that Cal is a part of at the beginning of the aforementioned game. When navigating the ship on the way to the medical bay, Wrecker attracts the attention of a Dianoga, and this is the same type of creature that Luke, Han, and Leia encounter in the trash compactor in the original Star Wars movie. When they reach the medical bay, Tech rightly tells Rex that the environment is no longer sterile. However, as Rex retorts back, their only other option is the facility on Kamino. Wrecker's turn has been telegraphed all season until this point. In the end, I'm not sure whether it's the scanner, Rex saying the words Order 66, or it might have even been Hunter telling Rex that they helped a Padawan escape, but something triggers him. And whatever the trigger is, Wrecker is ballistic. He is the biggest and he's the physically strongest of the Batch. And when he turns, he is, even on his own, a serious threat to the rest of the Batch, and Rex combined. Even Omega can't snap him out of it. And the scene where Wrecker is chasing Omega is framed just like a horror movie. When he gets distracted, Rex manages to get behind him and stun him. Tech performs the operation, and Wrecker takes a while to wake up, but Omega stays by his side the whole time. The rest of the Batch remove their chips as well, and just like that, the threat that has been building all season has been resolved. Wrecker and Omega celebrate with Mantel Mix because, well, it's tradition. Rex receives a call on his comm, and Hunter says goodbye, letting Rex know, if you're ever in a bind, you know how to reach us. And you just know that that's going to lead to future storytelling. As it is, Hunter's farewell to Rex is watched by a couple of members of the Scrapper Guild. And with that, the episode is over, as is this review. On Tuesday, I'll post my rewind review of the 8th episode of The Bad Batch, Reunion. And that reunion is explosive. I'll see you in a few days, Crosshair, and I hope to see you too. This is the Nerdy Dad, signing off.